What's going on, everybody? Tim from Tierfawn Orbital. Would like to do a really quick demo video for a commission I wrapped up earlier in the week. This is for another Electrum upgrade. This is for an Electrum Remnant. Now, this hilt is a little bit different than some of the previous Electrum Sabercraft hilts that I have upgraded, in that on this particular hilt, the control box and the switches therein sit low on the hilt. It's almost like an Obi-Wan hilt where we've got the control box really, really low towards the grip. So we had to figure out a little bit of a different switch situation for a removable chassis. So I would like to go over that. I'd like to go over the chassis itself a little bit, and then we will do a quick demo, and I will play around with this hilt for a little bit, and then we'll be on our way, right? So let's talk about the chassis a little bit first. Here we are in Fusion, so this is the chassis that I designed for this particular install. Just did some mild greebly work along both sides of the chassis, some embossing, some channels for decorative accents. We've got plenty of room for battery here. We've got a battery tray. Kill switch is in this middle waist section. Proffie board does sit in this tray. It is press fit in this particular chassis, so it press fits into this tray, and I do a lot of my splicing underneath the Proffie board itself. We've got some indentations here to, if the client needs to flip up the Proffie board to get at the USB or the SD card, that's why I put these indentations here. That way you can just kind of flip it up and do what you need to do and put it back down into that area. Plenty of room for a 28mm speaker, and up top we've got a hilt side. I'm sorry, so in this chassis I actually put a blade side 3-ring PCB. So I only needed 3 conductors coming up to the top of the hilt in this particular build. So I utilized just like a regular blade side PCB. Was from CCsabers. Around back, so these 2 indentations here are for spring switch PCBs. Now I picked up a bunch of sets of these from Albert over at Smugglers Outpost. He's got 2 conductor, 3 conductor. I think he actually might have 4 conductor, but they are just like spring PCBs, and these are great for a solution where you don't have a lot of clearance, or you need a removable where the control box is just super low. So I'll go over how these connect to the rest of the hilt, but these were a great solution for this particular install. And I do need to give a shout out to Stardust Sabers, another great installer in the community. He recently did an Electrum swap and utilized this same solution. So I really thought that was a very elegant way of getting your switch conductors into that control box. So I reached out to them and made sure that I had their blessing to use that idea. I thought it was a fantastic idea. So this channel also, so the chassis has got to go into the hilt a certain way, obviously, for these conductors to line up with those the control box side switch spring contacts. So that's why this channel is in here. So we'll go over that now. Let's take a look at the chassis itself. So here's the chassis. Just, some light greebly work around both sides. There's some up top here. 28mm base speaker. This is from Smugglers Outpost. And that's pretty much it, right? So we've got our kill switch in the middle here. Spring side is your negative. So these conductors, okay, so the top 2 are for the onboard SMD LEDs in the clamp card, and the bottom 3 are your switch legs. So it's ground, button 1, and aux. And the only way that can get into this chassis is by lining up that channel, that top flat channel, with the top of the control box. So underneath the control box, I also created a holder for the spring side switch contacts. So I created just a simple holder in Fusion, mounted it underneath the clamp card, and it sits just a little bit inside of the hilt, right? So that way you're putting your chassis in the right way every time, okay, so it doesn't rotate, and those contacts are perfectly aligned with the chassis once you place it in, okay? So let's go over how to use the chassis and use the lightsaber. Spring side is your negative, so you want to take the flat part of your battery, put it in the battery tray, hit your kill switch.
You can't win, Darth.
Okay, and then you want to just line up the switch contacts with the top of the control box, put it all the way in. Now this is a set screw pommel. I also had to create a little spacer ring. It's all the way at the bottom of this pommel. You can kind of see it. It's translucent resin. That is actually just glued in place. The alignment is perfect. So once you put your pommel on, okay, you want to push it all the way until it stops and then tighten your set screw. Okay, and then you're good to go. So let's come down to the bottom here. So twist to activate, twist to deactivate are both on. So let's talk about the hilt a little bit. So again, like, you know, I've talked about Electrum before. You know, their hilt designs are phenomenal. They're absolutely awesome, unique designs. This is the first time I've actually seen a Remnant in hand. And they've, you know, Electrum's got all kinds of color options. This particular hilt has been weathered. It's just a really, really rad looking hilt. And it sounds great. I mean, shocker, right? No surprise there. They just, for me, this is the third hilt from Electrum that I've done. That I've seen the Evo, I've done the Aegis, and I've done the Remnant now. And they all just sound so good when you've got a decent speaker in them, right? So let's talk about how to use the hilt. So when you're looking at the hilt, the top touch area is your main. The bottom is your aux.
You ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
See what else we got.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
So to the client, I put all the fonts that you requested on this particular hilt. I did back up the config. It is on the SD card. Let's put a blade in it and do a quick demo, okay? So there's a blade plug in here. This is from Electrum, I imagine. It's that same brass anodized finish. So you want to take your blade plug out. There is a set screw. There is a set screw behind, there's a silver set screw up top here. That's your blade retention. So you unscrew that, take your blade plug out. You want to take your blade, rest it on those PCB pins. Man, this is a deep, deep, deep hilt. And then tighten your set screw, and you're ready to go. So to activate blaster, just tapping the aux button. You want to hold aux while you're clashing to do lockup. Having the control box that low on hilts is always so hard to activate buttons, in my opinion. So let's see what else.
Traitor!
So to activate color change, while the blade is on, you want to hold down aux. And then tap main. Whoops.
Cargo dial.
Hold down aux, tap main, and then you twist to find the color that you like. And then hit aux again, and you'll lock onto that color. And it's really well balanced, being able to hold that, to choke that high up onto the on the hilt. I really like this.
Mr. Stubborn Old Man, tired of the foolishness of others.
Anyway, as always, I get carried away really easily. So that's pretty much it. A nice quick rundown on the Electrum Remnant Proffie board upgrade. To the client, thank you very much for trusting me with this particular build. If anyone has any questions about this chassis or how the install went, or if anyone has any questions in general about upgrading an Electrum hilt, please don't be a stranger. And with that being said, thanks for watching, everybody. May the force be with you always. Thanks for watching.